Okay, so my first story, let's see. My first kiss was when I was super duper young. But it wasn't like a super passionate, you know, like regular kiss. I missed the Thor. It was more of like I think a peck on the cheek. I don't remember it too well, but it's with a little boy named, I think his name was Cena. I'm not sure. My mom, I think, was. This is all hazy. I don't remember very much before like 5th grade, so this is based on like stories I've heard and pretty much what I vaguely remember. So I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on these stories, so don't hold me on. But anyway, his name was Cena. I think he was like Native American or something, and he was really nice to me. And I think he lived next to me or something. And I think we went to the same like preschool, so it was like that long ago. And he just liked me, and I didn't really like him too much. But I think he just came up and kind of like kissed me. I don't know. It was cute. I'm gonna kind of clear this place because all I care about is XP, and I'm just trying to kind of like grind and not die in a low-level area. I can obviously be an Act 4. Obviously, I'm supposed to be an Act 4, but I'm scared. Especially when I'm streaming, I'm concentrating on, you know, talking to you guys and stuff, rather than like being really good at dodging, you know, poisons. So, and that's pretty much it until about 5th grade. So there's this boy. All the boys in my story are going to be named Klaus, because that's the name I chose, like Felicity, like Dana and Felicity. Anyway, so Klaus number 1. He was a really good friend of mine. I grew up with him. We were in 5th grade, I think, when we started dating, and it was my first like real boyfriend. And he really like loved me. He was like a great guy. He would draw me pictures. He was kind of like a rocker, but like a popular rocker. And he would draw me pictures, and he was really like open about being sweet and really cared about me a lot. And I kind of treated him like shit, and I feel really bad about it. Obviously, I was young, and I was like, oh, I have the power over this guy who, you know, I felt like would love me unconditionally, and that was kind of interesting. And even though I was mean to him, I kind of felt like we were going to be, like, together forever kind of thing, you know? And we spent all the time we could together, and it was fun. And his mom absolutely despised me. Like, I don't know why. She just despised me. And, like, you know, you think about it now, and you think about, like, the way I look now. Let's say I get a boyfriend, and the parents don't approve or whatever, but I was, like, a little girl. And this old woman was like, oh, I don't approve of my son's girlfriend. It's like, what? You know? Like, we're like 12? So, what the fuck? But anyway, so yeah, we spent a lot of time together, and he was great, but I was really mean to him. Like, I did some fucked up shit. Like, I was like, we fought a lot, but it was always him just being sorry, and he didn't really do anything, and I was just really mean, and I feel really bad. And, he was the first guy I slept with. We were both 12. He's like a month younger than me. So yeah, lost it early. And it was me pressuring. I was like the pants in the relationship. Not as like you would normally think. Like, I'm not all feminist and weird and like stuff like that. But obviously he kind of was just a really big softie or whatever. And so I've always been really like sexual and, you know, kind of curious about everything. So yeah, that was the first guy. Ooh. Rare. A chest. Anyway, so let's see. This is also good practicing talking, like, kind of like, in an indirect way, I'm, like, practicing my talking for, you know, you guys know, I don't know if you know or not, but I want to be a caster, so, and I have really bad public speaking skills. I say a lot of ums, and I get lost in my train of thought a lot, kind of ditzy and stuff. But anyway, so, we dated for like 2 years straight, really, and it came to like 7th grade, I think, and I started cheating on him with this guy named Klaus, he was on the football team and the baseball team, but he was like more of the like nerdy kind of jock, and he was like really cute back then. Now he's not cute, but he was really cute. And so I told him I liked him. I've always been the one kind of initiating relationships in my life. People are usually, because when I wasn't as pretty as I am now, I guess, to people, I was still really popular, so, and like outgoing, and it was kind of like, I guess they were intimidated, so not too many people asked me out. And then back then, I wasn't obviously as fit and stuff as I am now. But, yeah. So, this Klaus guy, the second Klaus guy, stop doing that, it's so annoying. Lasso. He was nice, and he liked me a lot too. It's pretty similar to Klaus number 1, but not as lovey-dovey. And so I was cheating on him, and then he kind of found out and like broke up with me. So I stuck with Klaus number 2 and stuff like that. And I went to he had outside of school baseball games. You know, like you have those junior leagues where you go to after school, but it's kind of like based on your city, not really based on your high school. I was in cheer for one of those. But he was in baseball, and I would go there. And the main guy on his baseball team was like so hot, right? And he was a couple years older than us. And Klaus number 2 was kind of like more of the bencher there. Like, you know, he was the nerdy jock that like really wanted to be a jock, and his, you know, dad was like all jockey and wanted him to be a jock, but he was more of like not a jock, right? And obviously baseball isn't really a jockey sport anyway, right? So, I'm not even sure where I'm going. Am I supposed to go this way? Yeah, okay. So, I started liking that guy. And, some guys from his baseball team kind of invited me over, and me and my friend. And we went over there, and, I was, like, you know, ready to cheat on this boyfriend I have. And I didn't. But, yeah. So, eventually, like, class number 1 and class number 2 at school started to kind of fight with each other over me a little bit, which was cute, and I, like, enjoyed the attention. I was such an idiot back then. Like, seriously, this does not reflect how I am now. If I was going to date, I would not be this fucked up. I have a strong stance against, like, cheating. I would rather just say, hey, I want to, like, you know, fuck other people while I'm with you, rather than, you know, cheating. It's just fucked up. I would rather be honest. And, like, the stress that adds to, like, lying is just stupid. And I've realized that, obviously, from first-hand experience when I was younger. Anyway, so class number 2 and class number 1 started fighting, and then class number 3 kind of broke up with me. I don't remember exactly what happened, but, I realized that I was still in love with class number 1, so he gave me this ring, right? Because I said I've always wanted a boyfriend to buy me a ring. So he bought me this, like, $200 ring. It was a ruby, a heart ruby with, like, 2 little diamonds next to it from, like, Fred Meyer Jewelers or something. But it meant a lot to me, and I gave it back to him, well, I actually wore it. No, I wore it all through class number 2. And then, I went up to class number 1 and I was like, I still love you, I want you back, please. And I never thought that he would say no, but he said no. And that was like the most shocking thing ever. I remember I just gave him back the ring that he gave me, and I left. And I didn't really talk to him much after that. I avoided him in school, and I hung out with his friends, but avoided hanging out with him, and it was just a mess. And then one of his friends, well, everyone at the school is friends, so it's not really related that he's friends with one of the people, but there's this guy that was 2 years older than me. He was in high school and I was in middle school, and this is class number 3, and we had an on-again, off-again, like, fling constantly. He was in a band, he was a drummer in a band, and the band was pretty good, actually. And his parents were kind of rich. They owned a limo service, so, like, there's always limos outside his house and stuff, and his parents didn't like me either, but by then I was like in 8th grade, 7th grade, and, you know, I was dressing sexier, so it's okay for them to hate me now. You know, I'm getting older, we're all getting older. Hold on. Blah, blah, blah. Oh. No! Cancel! What? Thought I could exit out that talking and skip it. Anyway, so this class number 3, he would have, parties at his house, that involved his band playing, and the band setup was on like a little stage, and it was really cool. It was pretty cool, the parties. He had like the biggest parties, and they were like high school parties with a bunch of like high school kids and stuff. And I was also best friends with his cousin. Like, I met his cousin actually because my friend wanted to buy some pot, and he just fastly became like my best friend, the most loyal friend probably I've ever had, other than my best friend now, which is my roommate. he was really close to me. So I kind of met his cousin and started messing around with his cousin through him. And so at these parties, I would always end up upstairs making out with this guy. I never had sex with him, but it was always like this, like, sexual tension every time we were around each other. And we kind of tried dating for like a week, and then we like broke up with each other, and we didn't really date. It was more like a fling every time I saw him. And God, there's so much to kill. And so that's kind of the end of that. That happened for like 3 years on and off. Like, he would be the little fling that I would go to randomly when we started talking. We had our own thing. And like, he had his own girlfriends that he would always end up like cheating on or whatever. And then so after that, my best friend, who was his cousin, like I'm saying, his name was Andrew, and he was like really close to me. But he was also like kind of a druggie. Kind of got into trouble, but he was like a really good guy. And I say was because, yeah, he did pass away, but I'm over it now. Anyway, so I wonder what you guys are saying in chat about me just like rambling. Oh well. So, started hanging out a lot with Andrew. Pretty much every day. Like, I would go up to his house and have breakfast there. Do I not open this game to the public? Ah! Scary. Hold on. Intense battles. I don't want to die, so it's safe to say that me and Andrew were incredibly close. I hate Fire Train. Alright. Oh my god, how many more? I really don't want to lose this character, that's why I'm not talking. Okay, so Andrew had this girl that he was in love with, like, forever. And so he was kind of off the market, but you can tell that he was in love with me in like maybe a friend way or a brother way, and he obviously thought I was pretty. And he sometimes kind of like tried to hit on me and like use me as the rebound for this girl that he's loved for so long and stuff. But we were just mostly friends, and I wasn't really attracted to him. So nothing ever came of that, but I mean, we'd like spend nights together, and we'd spend a lot of time together, and he tried to hook me up with a lot of his friends and cousins and stuff. So first, when Klaus number 3, his cousin, didn't work out really, he tried to set me up with his friend, which was, he was kind of weird, kind of another druggie, and that didn't really work out. And then he tried to hook me up with this guy who wasn't really a close friend of his, and he was friends with at the time, and that was like the disaster of my life. So this guy, Klaus number 4, I spent 2 years dating this guy, and he would like steal cars. He didn't do many drugs, like he was kind of against that. He would smoke cigarettes or whatever, but you know, it's not drugs. And I hated it, of course, because it's awful, it smells bad and stuff. But he would be in and out of juvie, literally, and I'm like, just come on, just change. So okay, Klaus number 4, who I met through my best friend named Andrew. Went to juvie a lot, stole cars, I asked him to stop, blah blah blah. And oh my god, fucking elites. And I thought that he was completely gonna stop. Like, he would tell me time and time again, he would go out at night with his friends, and he had these certain friends that he ran with that were like, just really awful. They were like druggies and car thieves, and they were just all awful people, and I was nice to them, but I didn't really like them that much, and they kind of got him into it, and he was like, I don't know if he actually was, but because I cared about him, I saw him as different from them. And I was like, no, you can change, they're always going to be like this, you know. And his mom, the funny thing about that was, his mom was like I forget what, she was a probation officer. So like, she had to deal with this probation officer, like, job, and like her son, you know, constantly like disobeying the law. It was so weird. Like, she worked at the place that her son was mostly, because You know, he was always going to juvie, always going and getting caught. And I remember I would occasionally skip with him, and I would occasionally be there when he like stole the cars, but I never got in any trouble. They would always either let me off or we got away. And so yeah, that was really stressful for me. And time again I would ask him to stop, and he would be away for longer periods of time. First time it was like a week, then a month, then more than a month, and it got up to I waited for him one time for like 3 months, I think it was. And it just got to the point where I was like, please stop. And like, he got a job at his sister's, this Bollywood theater. And I loved going there and watching the Bollywood movies. I had this like obsession with Bollywood for a while. It was so awesome. I remember I watched, I think Doom, I think it's called, was one of my favorites. It's like about a cars or something. Like racing cars, kind of like Fast and Furious, but Bollywood style. So that was really fun and exciting. Hopefully I don't get DC'd here when I'm fighting this guy. Oh, what was that? I didn't even see those. Hold on. No! No ice, thank you. Dude, my Templar and Tyrael are not doing shit. Oh! Just kinda gonna kite these people. Oh no, 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 no. Sorry guys, hold on. Since half of you probably aren't listening to the story anyway, it doesn't matter too much. Oh no! Oh, fuck you, freezing! Ugh. So, the thing that sucks is that I'm not like actually killing our guys there. Okay, so these Bollywood movies, blah blah, and and he was like really into them as well. So it was something we shared, and for like a couple months he didn't get into any trouble. He didn't see any of his friends that got him into trouble, and it was just like really nice, you know. And so I would go up there and I would spend the nights. And one thing about me with all my boyfriends is that let's see, I was in I think 8th grade when this started. 8th and 9th grade is when I dated him. And he was a year older than me, grade-wise. But he kind of pretty much stopped going to school because of how much shit he got into and just started working, which is like so stupid, right? Like GED status. And what was I saying? I need to stop like having these like brain farts and like getting off the topic. I'm trying to formulate this story in a way that's interesting, so bear with me. So everything was great, and I thought things were going to finally change. Until, like, one night he was coming to see me, and I was like, yeah, you're coming to see me, and I know he would, like, sometimes use his mom's car and stuff. Oh, what I was saying is that, with my boyfriends, I've always, like, wanted more sex than they even give, you know, like, so, like, I'm the teenage boy hormone person instead of them. But I've always been, of course, safe and picky. I'm even pickier now, obviously, because I can be, and because I'm not, like, young and stupid. I'm still young and I'm still stupid, but not as, okay? I started out really young and really stupid, you know? Like everyone else started out really young. I'm such a ditz, I swear. By the way, I can understand if you, like, listen to me and hate me, because sometimes when I listen to myself, I'm like, oh my god, she's so annoying. It's funny. But anyway, so yeah, I would stay the night at the theater and stuff, and then one day he was coming to see me, and I thought he was taking his mom's car, which is fine. It doesn't get him in trouble. But instead, I guess he took a stolen car, and I saw him pull up beside my high school. I was getting out of school, and I was waiting for him. And then I see a cop behind him, and I'm like, fuck. And that's like, the moment, like, that I can think of that like stood out in my mind as like my heart really just like sinking. It's like, he did it again. Fuck no. You know, like that's how I felt. And I've been like trying to convince him that like you're not gonna get anywhere in life if you keep doing this shit. And like, so when he was away, I would go hang out with his friends and my ex-boyfriends, and I would get drunk, and it was awful. So that's the point in my life when I was more into partying. But I never really partied because I liked it. I partied because like I was trying to forget how stressed out I was about like trying to stay on the right path, and this person I cared about just like wouldn't do that for me. So that was stressful. And like he would hate it. He would call me from like juvie or wherever, group home, whatever he was in. And he would be like, why are you out drinking? It's so stupid. I'm like, well, because maybe. Let me try that again. Well, because you know, make me so sad. You don't, you know, you lie to me constantly about what you're doing. And, you know, like, obviously, I wasn't trying to be a prude. I just had his best interests at heart. And he was getting older. He was going to stop going to juvie. It wasn't funny anymore. It wasn't cute. So that was annoying. At first it was interesting, but later it got kind of crappy. So 2 years doing that, and while he went to jail that last time, the time after I saw him by my high school, I just kind of gave up on him, and I started like pretty much just cheating on him, but I would write him. And I didn't really want to break up with him because I felt kind of weird being single, and I felt bad like dumping him while he was in jail or whatever. So first guy I saw while he was in jail was this guy that I had a crush on forever, who was also friends with my friend Andrew. And he was like adorable, like to me. But he never, we had these moments where I think he liked me, but it never really amounted to anything until Klaus number 4 was in jail that last time. And you know, he finally showed some interest in me. And so that was one guy, but it was only like a couple times that I even saw him, so it wasn't really like a boyfriend. And the next boyfriend that was more significant was this guy. He was in a metal band, and the metal band was like pretty good. See, all these guys in bands, they're pretty good. The first band was more like alternative rock, it was like lighter stuff, but this band was like metal, like metal. Like I think they aspired to be a lot like Children of Bodom. And stuff like that. And he was coming out of a bad relationship where he was kind of depressed and stuff. And so we got really close, and he was this rocker guy with long black hair. I think he was like Puerto Rican or something. I don't know. But very Americanized, been here his whole life. And so yeah, I got really close to this guy, and I was, you know, gonna leave Klaus number 4 for him. I'm always like thinking about the real names in my head, so I hope I don't like pull a day 9 and like say the real name, because I guess it doesn't matter at this point because nobody's gonna find out. I mean, I can't even find most of these guys on like Facebook or anything, but still. So this rocker guy, we got pretty close, and like we would like skip school and go hang out and spend a lot of time together. I remember he introduced me to, I hadn't seen it yet, Wayne's World, and it's like his favorite movie. So that was one fun memory I remember, just like watching that over and over again with him. And he told me after like a couple months of dating, and I was just getting into cheerleading at my high school a little bit. I was like doing the tryouts and stuff. And he was in a band, and his friends didn't like me because they were all like rockers, and especially the girls, they were like, oh, you're dating this like stupid Barbie girl, and blah blah blah. And I was like, no, I'm cool, I promise, and stuff like that. So yeah, he told me a little bit into the relationship that he still had feelings for his ex, and he wanted to try get her back or whatever. And like, she was really ugly, like really ugly. So I was like, oh, how could he like her more than me? Not only am I cool, I'm also much hotter and stuff. You know, I had that kind of mentality. So it was annoying. But I was like, well, sure, but we should still, you know, be friends with benefits or whatever. Stop being immune. And he was like, sure, for a little bit, but then it was kind of like, nah. And I was like, alright, whatever. So that ended. And then I met my roommate in the end of 9th grade. We started kind of messing around. And he quickly became like my best friend, like hands down, that I've ever had. Oh, one thing to note, that guy that was always in jail and stuff, I remember I called him the day that my best friend, Andrew, died. And I was like, oh my god, Andrew's dead. And he goes, and that just like pissed me off so much. Like, I knew that they like started fighting and stuff, but the fact that he didn't give a shit about how I felt or that someone was dead just like really pissed me off. And that was just like another like emotional turning point where I just didn't give a shit about him anymore. Like shit about like being loyal to him and stuff. So I was just like, fuck it, you know, he's gonna do this to me and he's gonna like not be there for me when I actually need him, you know, screw him, right? I'm not getting much experience for this. But I'm scared because obviously I'm still dying a little bit from the elites and I'm alone. Did I open this to the public? That's the problem. Okay. Perfect, Ruby. So I met my roommate in Spanish class, and I remember I cheated off of him with a on a paper, which was silly because I didn't like really pay attention that much, and he like did work and he was like super smart and stuff. He is super smart, and he was like super hot and is even more so hot right now. And I have to say this because he's like sitting next to me. No, I'm just kidding. But we didn't really do the serious dating thing because he's always about like kind of being a slut and like you know, having variety and all that. So we've always just been like really good friends. But that was the kind of end of me trying to like go for a boyfriend because I realized how much happier and how much freer and how much more I could like focus on my relationships with friends and also like schoolwork and my career and stuff. Alright. Let's get to it. Oh, I didn't mean to press my boss killer. Better make it last. Or better make it worth it. Not make it last. Can't make it last longer than the duration. What am I babbling about, everyone's saying in chat? That's my prediction. Like, what the fuck is she talking about? But at least I'm trying to be interesting while I grind Diablo. And this is fun, guys! Come on, I'm having fun. I'm having fun, so you should be having fun. That's the rule. You're not allowed to not have fun. Oh, why did I lag a little bit? See, it would be nice if I was in like a full group, because the full group would like kind of protect me. Let's see what's going on. Okay, I have like 36,000 health, which is pretty good. CPS is pretty good. Ooh, I have more vitality than strength now. It's pretty even though. Okay, so after my roommate, he just kind of had, like, you know, girlfriend flings, and I've only had, like, 2 or 3 little flings. I'm more exclusive. I don't really care too much about the variety aspect. I just more want to, like, have friends that I trust that are fun, you know, so I'm a lot more picky now, and I would never, like, get a boyfriend, like, cheat on him or anything. I would just be honest and be like, you know, a relationship is not something I'm looking for unless you're absolutely amazing, which my, you know, roommate was, but that's not what we want to do. So obviously if I changed my mind on that, I would try to make him change his mind, but I don't, and I don't know. But anyway, there's this one guy. He's a bodybuilder, and like a professional bodybuilder. And my roommate's into bodybuilding and stuff like that. So, oh, leave me alone. So we go to these conventions, one's called the Olympia, the other is called the Arnold Classic. If you guys are into fitness at all, I'm sure you've heard of it. And I remember my roommate, he was like, he would buy the muscular development bodybuilding magazines, right? And like at first I wasn't too into the idea of like, I loved like big muscular men, right? But I didn't really like the condition in which they like cut down to. I didn't really like the veins and stuff and the vascularity of it. Well, I didn't even know he did that. I usually kill him before that. But now I love it. But anyway, back then he was like, okay, go through my magazine and pick out a bodybuilder that's your favorite to try to get me into it, you know? And like to try to get me more excited about like going to the events and working the events and stuff like that. And so I picked this guy, and he was in an ad, and my roommate was like, yeah, he's not a professional, he's actually an amateur right now, but he's pretty good, and everyone's saying that, you know, he's gonna be great and stuff like that. And I'm like, alright, and he had like the cutest face, and he wasn't like too huge, at least back then. Now he's like Mr. Olympia status, like top 12 at least in the world. And that, but so this guy, and I didn't really think of anything of it after that, other than just like kind of reading through his like column in Muscular Development, like I probably shouldn't have even said the magazine, just in case you can kind of guess, but it doesn't matter. Oh, why did I use that? But anyway, I would read through his column, and I found out that he has a girlfriend who he's really, really committed to, and like annoyingly committed to. Like, he's like, if anyone, like, I remember one asked, like, which Jennifer do you like better, Jennifer Aniston which one of Brad Pitt's girlfriends or something? And just like girl questions, he would always answer with, it doesn't matter because I love my girlfriend or something like that. And that was always annoying to me, and I'm like, oh, he's one of those like prude guys that like won't even like, obviously is on a leash, but he like loves his girlfriend so much, you know. And so I was like, okay, you know, just kind of ignore him in that aspect because he's not probably going to amount to anything. And he also said that he preferred brunettes. So I'm like, okay, even more stupid, you know, I'm not a brunette. And then we go to this event, and I see him, and I'm like, oh my god, Jay, my roommate's name is Jay, now you know. Or Jekko, whatever you want to call him, he's also a mod in here. But, I was like, oh my god, Jay, there he is, and Jay's like, you should go talk to him. And I'm like, but he doesn't like blondes, and he's all, you know, uptight, and his girlfriend's probably around, blah, blah, blah. And I was wearing this, like, underboob shirt, it was so fun, with my name on it, and it was, like, hot pink. It was, like, really hot, right? And, he's doing a speech at his booth, and I walk up, and I'm, like, watching the speech, and he just looks at me, he's like, oh my god, and his, like, jaw drops. It was so funny. Like, I've never seen that kind of obvious, like, staring before. Like, he obviously really liked me, so I'm like, okay, I'll go up and talk to him. And, so I go up and talk to him, and he has, like, a friend that's, like, really, like, conceited, kind of, like, thinks he can get a lot of girls and stuff, kind of like a ladies' man. And he was like, his friend asked, who's your favorite bodybuilder? And I go, you know, him! And he's like, oh, no way, and he, like, leaves. And then that guy, who was my favorite, who I liked or whatever, he came up to me and was kind of, he was, like, really nice to me, and he was like, no way, I'm your favorite, no way, and he was, like, really, like, appalled, or not appalled, what's the word, the positive word for appalled? He was, like, shocked and surprised and in awe of the fact that I was actually into bodybuilding, like, much less, like, he was my favorite, right, so that was exciting. And I get kicked out after I leave from talking to him. And he was, like, really, like, picking up on me. Like, he would, like, whisper in my ear, I don't want you to leave. And, like, it was cheesy. But it was interesting. So I leave and I get kicked out from my underboob shirt because we were in Ohio, where apparently they are very prudish. I don't know how many events I've been to underboob shirts in, but it was not my first, and I've never been kicked out before. So I get kicked out, and I tell my roommate, dude, go in there and give him my number. And he's like, alright. And, like, he was interested, too, because obviously, he was into the bodybuilding and into, like, the competing aspect of it and all that. So he was like, yeah, sure, I make a friend, and, you know, she does whatever and gets to know people. So, I text him, or he texts me, and then I text him back. And we just start talking throughout the final event. What the fuck are we doing? Going in circles? This guy's following me? Like, rule number 1, never follow me in a game. Especially when I'm trying to, like, talk and stuff. Demonic vessel. But anyway, and after the event, I go over and kind of see him in his hotel room and stuff. And then, after that, we spent a lot of time talking, right? And I know that he has this girlfriend, and I guess it was just kind of like a ruse that he put forward in his column, where he actually really did like me and, you know, like other stuff than his girlfriend, obviously. But, you know, she was just kind of really jealous. And I found out that she, like, wasn't a good girlfriend at all. Like, for instance, she didn't, like, go to his events or care about his, you know, care about his career much. Like, she wasn't really into it. And that kind of made me sad, because, like, obviously, you know how much I've preached, like, even on here, about how people should, you know, it's always relating to gaming, but, I mean, people should always try to care about the passions of their friends, and especially their boyfriends and significant others and stuff like that. I think that's really important. But she didn't do that, and she wasn't really supportive. And then she was also, like, every time he goes to an event and comes home, she would be like, oh, you know, I bet you cheated on me, blah, blah, blah. And I guess somehow she saw a picture of us and found out that we just, like, saw each other. Like, she didn't know anything. But she kind of freaked out and was like, who's this Tara Babcock chick? Oh my god. And, like, so he started being much more hesitant to, like, even take a picture with me or, like, see me. And he would always tell me, like, oh, you're so hot every time I see you, I just want blah, blah, blah. But, he kind of just stopped talking to me, which was, like, really fucked up in my opinion, because it's weird to me that people choose what is comfortable rather than, like, going for what they want or going for what's in their heart. They just, like, you know. And I think he thought, he had kind of this wholesome image, so he probably thought that I would kind of muddy that up. Like, oh, leaving his normal girl for, like, a model girlfriend, like, even as a bodybuilder, that's kind of, you know, frowned upon. Not as much as in the gaming industry, you know. Like, obviously, if someone like Day 9 left his normal girlfriend for me, like, oh my god, people would hate me so much. But, yeah, so that's kind of how that went. And he kind of stopped talking to me, and I, you know, made an effort to be like, come on, let's at least be friends. He's like, you know I can't just be friends with you. Like, he obviously really liked me and stuff. So, that's how that one ended. And then, after that, there wasn't really anyone of note. Trying to think. Recently, I went to an event, and there was another guy, but nothing else really came of that. He's just a friend now. So, and that's my whole history. Damn, that didn't take as long as I thought it would.